And usually you set the agenda and don't have a communication with me, so I don't know if you have a icebreaker in mind already, Shannon?
No, if you'd like to.
What did you all do for the New Year's?
I'll go first.
All right.
I just went to practice
What kind of practice?
wrestling.
Oh, cool.
That's all I did.
Yes, little Natalie Ruth. I
Yeah.
have to go see her matches.
Yeah. Good for you. Oh.
My name's Elijah. I stayed in. I watched Stranger Things. I had a good New Year's. Pretty restful.
Cool. Yeah, same thing. Stay home and fell asleep early. I did not hear the fireworks in Lakewood. That I heard that was, loud, but
Yeah.
I couldn't see the fireworks area because the fog was really thick.
yes, that was it too. I was glad that I'm old and can't stay awake at 11 o'clock anymore.
Becomes a challenge to hit the New Year's for New York, then you know you have problems.
Right.
It's like, come on, get through it.
Well, I'm Megan and
Good morning. We have a whole crew together.
Nicole's here.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Megan and I'm the St. Clara. And I was in Palm Springs and staying at my brother and sister-in-law's. They had a little party with their neighbors and I stayed up till midnight this year.
That a girl.
Just to let you know, we're just doing a brief introduction and just sharing what we did for the New Year's. Yeah.
Perfect. And I'm Roxanne. I'm the new Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Director. So you knew Mary. I'm the new Mary. That's the easiest part. Yeah. And I had a very full Christmas holiday for those 2 weeks. And actually my son and daughter-in-law and two grandbabies had to come live with me because their water pipe broke. And they were able to go home New Year's Eve. So a lot of it was just cleaning up and relaxing. Yeah. So a lot of rest in kind of closing out and putting things away. But a lot of was able to take my mom out to dinner for Christmas Eve too. Yeah. So it was good.
Just a quick letting you know we're doing introductions and saying what did we do for New Year's.
Okay, great.
Hi everyone, my name is Amaryllis. I'm a junior at Harrison Prep. For New Year's, I mainly just stayed home with my mom and we kind of did like the lentils and the grapes because those are two things that we do on New Year's.
Lentils and grapes.
Yeah, so as soon as the clock hits 12, you eat 12 grapes and each grape is kind of like what you want for that month of the year.
Oh my God, I love that.
And then it's kind of just like plan out. It's kind of like your resolutions, but you just do them really quick and you try to within the first minute.
In a minute.
No. The under the table is like kind of like a different.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna talk about this more. I like
Yeah.
Cool.
My name is Lincoln. I'm a junior at Harrison Prep, and over the winter break, I just stayed home and did like school.
My name's Mary, and during New Year's, I spent time with my family, and we just stayed home. And I go to Harrison Prep, and I'm in 11th grade.
We wanna hop up on the screen?
Okay, I'll go. I'm Joyce Loveday. I represent Clover Park Technical College, and for New Year's I was at home, but I did tune in and watch the foggy fireworks at downtown Seattle.
Yeah, it's cool. We're about to move it all.
And I'm Carrie Patrick. I'm with Communities and Schools of Lakewood. We have school staff inside Clover Park and Franklin Pierce schools. And normally I have two young kids. Normally they spend the night at my in-laws for New Year's, but they were sick. So I hosted my kids plus all the cousins for an impromptu sleepover. And they all stayed up until midnight, including a 4-year-old, to watch the fireworks. And then it was too foggy to see anything. So, but it was fun and everyone had a good time. We played lots of games and yeah, it was fun.
Nice. I'm Shannon Bennett, the Human Services Coordinator, and I'd like to say the Mama Duck to our youth council. My husband and I, we have a retriever. Well, we have two dogs, and our golden hates fireworks, and she's 10, and so it's now an excuse for me to go on Airbnb or VRBO, find a nice little place outside somewhere. But I found this wonderful little cabin in Gold Bar. I'd never been on the Skycomish. It's an hour and a half away. It was wonderful. And the best part was it had a record player with all this old vinyl, no
Oh,
TV.
cool.
So it was just like reading, listening to records, watching the dogs sniff. So that was awesome. Yeah. Natalie. Oh, no, we have, Julie.
Oh,
hi.
Hi, everyone. Julie White, the Chancellor of Pierce College. Our New Year's was very quiet. Just my significant other and I, and what did we do? I made a cheese and crackers, although I'm mostly vegan, so it was all vegan. Grape leaves, kind of a tray, and enjoyed the Christmas lights and just had a quiet night.
Hi, my name is Daniela. I'm from Clover Park High School and I'm a junior. And before New Year's, a majority of the time spent it at home. But for Christmas Day, I did go sledding and I went tubing and then I tried skiing. It's really hard.
Will you do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're gonna what?
I want to try snowboarding.
That one's hard, but you have to get past your third time and you'll love it.
That's what I hear.
I'm Jocelyn, I'm a senior at Harrison. I honestly don't remember what I did for New Year's except for college applications. For New Year's, I had a Christmas performance, but I injured my arm, so I had to find a replacement before that. And then,
How's your arm now? Is it good?
no more physical therapy for it.
Oh.
What kind of performance?
It was a church performance, but because I'm like the worship team leader, I had to like play the violin for the intro. And it's hard, you know. So I had to find replacements last minute for all three of them.
Oh my gosh. Oh, talk about a pivot.
Instruments, yeah.
Miss Ava.
Hi, my name is Ava. I'm a junior at Lakes High School. And it's the question like what we did before, like winter break.
Yes, what did you do for New Year's? Sorry about that.
Oh,
Yes.
For New Year's, I just stayed at home. I watched the Stranger Things finale. And then my parents were already asleep in their bed, so I ran upstairs and I was like, Happy New Year.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
All right.
All right.
Nice icebreaker.
All right, so any public comments? Public comments? No? All right, then moving on to meeting minutes for those who are able to vote and approve the November meeting minutes. Did everybody get to read them?
I sent them out in the invite. In case you didn't, I do have random copies in here and then I'll.
There's this one of it.
If they're approved, Alice, do you have a pen and then you can just sign that one?
Yes. And then a move and a second to approve the minutes. I move to approve. Thank you. A second?
Second.
All right.
Is that you, Carrie?
Thanks, Joyce. Joyce. All right. Any conversation about this? No? All those in favor to approve the November meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay. All right. Then unanimous. Thank you, everybody. New business, election of officers. Any nominations? Or I think we have vice chair and chair are the two positions that we have.
Mm-hmm. Ron Banner's not here.
You
Well, the
interested and
students-
willing to continue another year in your role?
Oh, me?
Yes.
I could, but I would really love for us to have a little more, an agreement to do some more team, have a, advances I call, which other people call retreats, so that we just jive a little bit more. I think that this is one of the, I'm on a bunch, several other boards and commissions, and this one doesn't perform as much as the other ones. And I think it's because we don't gel as much. But it's also really unique because of all of our positionalities that we have. And I think we could do a lot for Lakewood and supplement and support our young people and our future. So I would love that if we could just, really have some synergy. I didn't share. I lead an organization called the Center for Ethical Leadership, and it's really about team building and leadership and working together. And this is a group that we didn't really get to do that. my first year. And so that would be my hope, that we actually come together. We talked briefly about purpose, but I think that, you know, being able to really, especially with new faces, and then we have our new council liaison, and our young people here, our students, that it would be really cool to kick it off like either next month or the following month and just get together and reground ourselves and get to know each other. Yeah, that would be it. Long thing, long way of a yes, if we kind of have a bulk agreement to that.
When you say, Alice, to meet more, are you meeting as a group or just like maybe on a quarterly basis? Plan like a get together outside of the meeting?
Well, I think that it would be nice to kind of talk about our purpose, so that would be like a meeting, you know. And then as we look at other things, I always think that it's important as a team to have, you know, our work time and then a sprinkled social time, so that we get to know each other. Some of you already know each other and you're driving, and then the other folks are, you know, maybe not so much. So it really helps to kind of reground the whole group, so that we are all like able to laugh at each other's inside jokes, if that makes any sense. You don't have to be best buds and all be best friends and text each other before bed, but it's just like a like a working relationship. So that's what I mean by
Okay.
I think, you know, I think that's great. I have a question only because, you know, I report to a board, a public board. And so this is a public board, and there are rules around quorum and how you get together and
Yeah.
public notice. And I don't know if they're the same.
It
You
is.
know, so that would be the only thing I would want us to be really mindful of, how we do that. And again, there are specific rules for community colleges, but I think they're probably similar. So, just obviously,
Yeah.
right, you
Yeah.
know, as a public board.
yeah.
Because that sometimes creates some challenges for my trustees, because they want to do things and it's like, well, then you've got a quorum. And if you're conducting business, if you've got a quorum, there has to be public notice.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, but I think if you separate like social to business and just make sure,
Yeah.
and again, I'm sure Shannon can advise us on that.
And I also sit on a county board as well. And so how we go about it is that we have it at our time of our meeting. So it's public,
Yeah.
and we're already, it's on our calendar. And then in terms of the social, we have absolutely no talk of business.
Exactly.
No talk of business whatsoever. We're just people
Getting to
who,
know one another.
yeah, and we've really been good about that. And that helps us get away from, and it's nice because it's supposed to be about social and not talking about business. So those are ways how we as a county board has been able to do that.
Right.
What I can do is I will verify with our city clerk kind of how that
Yeah, yes,
looks.
the city level, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
They're
and
possible.
yeah.
But
As
if
long
there's
as
a
the
will, there's
public
a way.
notice is there, because you could even just, if you chose one of your regular meetings and expanded the time to do more of a workshop around purpose or how your goal settings go, it just needs to be advertised and still open to any member of the public that chooses to come in and observe, because there's not, you know, there's
Yeah.
with a public comment opportunity.
Okay. Does that mean based on this discussion, are you willing to?
Yeah, question
Well,
was.
is there any?
I don't have an agreement, I don't have an agreement for a call.
But also, you know, does anybody else want to be chair?
I think you would do a great job. And I totally agree with, you know, the whole social aspect, helping get things moving, you know, as far as this board is concerned. So I support you.
Yeah. Does that mean you will continue on to be vice chair?
I
mean, sure. How do you like that? Or anybody else
Yeah.
who would like to be vice chair? Can you see me looking at Joyce and Carrie?
Oh, we can see.
Yeah, we can see you. We're lucky.
Like, we're on it.
And I want to express appreciation for both of your leadership for the last year, and thank you very much. And I would love it if you would continue another year. And
Oh, thank
it would-
All right. I think we have an opportunity to vote officially.
Do we vote,
Or do we do we do a motion?
right, and
Yeah.
is it each of them separately, or do we do it as a slate?
I say to be safe, let's do it separately. Yeah. So do we have a motion on the table for Alice to be confirmed as our chair?
So moved.
Who's
moved.
Joyce,
Okay,
yeah.
Joyce. I'm
For the
sorry.
green.
I'll second.
Okay, all right. Now for Megan.
We have to vote.
Mhm.
Oh,
Close
not-
up. Close out the Alice
Motion,
motion.
Alice. Yeah, I know, yeah. No pressure.
Yeah. What has it been moved yet or not yet?
Yes,
Second.
Move. You got it, Joyce? Joyce
Yeah.
the mover today. Okay,
wait, we already moved and seconded for Alice.
for Alice, but for Megan.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
I
one's
thought
for
we were
me.
gonna vote. I thought we were gonna vote separately.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yes. Oh, we didn't vote
Oh,
for,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Joanna. Oh,
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm also the chair, so it feels weird.
Yeah.
All those in favor to say hi, to vote for me to be.
I got you. All those in favor of Alice resuming as chair?
Aye.
Sorry, guys. All right, now we're moving on to Megan.
I move
Is
that
there a movement
Megan,
second?
yeah, that Megan serve as the vice chair for the coming year.
Okay,
Second.
okay.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
And I abstain from voting for myself.
Well, thank you both. We appreciate you and your willingness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, that's cool. Let me see if we told our guests to show up at 8 so we could kind of get through this. But I don't know if you saw the follow-up. She confirmed after I put the agenda out, but we have somebody from Pierce Transit that's going to join us at 8 so we can talk about our youth transportation needs with Pierce Transit. So I don't know if we want to take these next 10 minutes before she comes on to kind of, I don't know, set ourselves for the conversation, bring anything up.
Maybe think of some questions that we'd want to ask. Do you want to preface a little, does everybody know why we wanted to bring this topic forward from our December meeting? I think we were talking about what can this advisory board learn about and advise the council members, the Lakewood council members, on how to support, our young people. And transportation has always been kind of a little stickler. And so we're like, bring on the transportation folks. So
Mhm.
Shannon went and invited them here so that we can say, hey, what can we do to better our, transportation lack of, what are those problems? And then of course you are the end users to find out, what is it? What is I think some of the things that were talked about was safety issues and not being convenient. I think it's like an hour or something that sometimes you have to wait to get from one end of Lakewood to the other end or and so those are some thoughts that that were brought up. And so if there's more things of why you and your peers do not want to use, the public transportation, be more creative. Maybe it's not a bus, maybe it's something else that is a little more flexible. I think that's, some of the conversations we can have and some questions we can propose and ask the transit person, what are some solutions that they have? Maybe they've helped other cities in Pierce County or have heard other, ways and innovation that they've done, bless you, for that. So we can kind of do some pre-thinking.
I'm curious for the transportation, like what I want to know is how, like, what we can realistically accomplish as youth and from the youth transit. I'm just like curious, like, from this person, if we make this possible for our future events and our upcoming youth summit,
Mhm.
then what could be realistically done in 4 months? How much would it cost, and how it would reach the people or the youth of Lakewood for upcoming future events, and how we can use this model to support future events for future youth events.
I'm curious if they already have something in place for youth. I don't know. So I'd like to hear what she says from the beginning, like this is what we have in place, things that the general public may not know. And kind of go from there. And then maybe we can use that from that point. Do you guys know, do they have a youth program that youth get a ride for free? I don't know. They do?
They
Okay.
do. Yes.
How old do you have to be? I mean, how does it work?
I think it's up to 18, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, until you, and the concern that many of these students have brought up is that's great, but there's still the safety issue, kind of navigating schedules and stuff like that. I would like to see if, given this concern by our youth, do you have, I think like we talked about yesterday, do you have a program where you train youth? Can we do a field trip where one of the buses takes around a route and students, can be waiting at those, right? So kind of a live training on the buses to get youth more comfortable. Maybe they bring that message home to their parents, which would maybe make them more comfortable. Maybe we can ask about the stats of incidences on the buses so that we might be able to dispel some of the rumor about them not being safe. Or what are their safety methods on the bus? Is it just the bus driver? Or do you have somebody on there that is?
Are there parameters where they will let certain people on and they don't have to let certain people on? I don't know.
So I'm hearing, I think I missed the meeting where this was discussed more. Sort of two categories of safety concerns. One is comfortability and knowledge of just using the bus and the schedules, and how do you even do that? Because it's intimidating for sure.
Yeah.
You haven't done it before. And then concern about unsafe behaviors of others on the bus. Is that what I'm hearing?
And then also like you're standing there at the bus stop. And
Sure.
Some of our bus
Yeah,
stops
sure.
are just kind of out there.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
Three of those safeties.
Mhm.
And I think what I'm curious about is just hearing, I know they've done a lot of work on engaging youth since the free bus fares for public transportation for people who are under 18. So I'm curious, like, what trends they're already hearing in their community engagement work and how they've worked to address those. Sometimes the things that I'm hearing are from individual students who are just having trouble accessing things, accessing events or feeling comfortable in transportation. So I'm curious what work they've already done kind of identifying things and trying to address them at a bigger level. I know that they've had some amazing outreach workers come to like Clover Park High School, and we've tabled together and, talked to kids about how to use the bus. But they might already have some other strategies in place that we don't know about, and we can help them, get in the front of kids and families.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so let me just read what we have. So Elijah asked what we can realistically accomplish as youth, and as it relates to the upcoming April 18th Youth Summit, which we have in 4 months. What does that look like? What's the cost? What do we have to do? And then also, what is the long term? So if we come to a solution, then what are the long-term plans after that? Okay. Then the second one we said is, they had asked Megan, do they already have something in place for youth? We know that they have the free bus rides, but what other programs might they have? Then we have all the safety concerns. And so Carrie wants to know what trends are they already seeing and hearing, and what work has already been done to address them? Is that right, Carrie?
And I think I'm interested in access to public transportation. So safety is a concern in young people's ability to access, but also like knowing the routes and families, comfortability. It's all of those things together
Okay.
that would give us better access, easier access to utilize.
Now let me ask you, do you all want to ask her the question yourself, or do you want me to just ask, act, or Alice to act as you want me to act?
I'd like you all to ask the questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
this is leadership. One of the other things too is that Ron talked about, or Superintendent
Yes, he did.
Banner talked about the school district being able to provide bus services. So would the transit be willing to partner and move their funds or help or have drivers, because it does have a cost for the school district to, move these buses on, special routes or special days or something like that? Could there be like a way to help financially support that, or with staff or liability, all of those things? So that we can work together on supporting our young people getting to point A to point B. So, yeah.
I will comment on that. The second year we did the youth summit, we did work with Clover Park to get 2 buses and 2 bus drivers, and the city we paid for it. So it was like $883. However, we had one student ride the bus.
Yeah. So we need
So
to market.
it's a marketing thing, right? Yeah. It's a marketing thing. I mean, I think I have it in my budget because I seem to be leaving money on the table for the youth summit, unless it's year we amp it up a little bit more. But I don't like spending money when there's.
I know.
You can return.
Remember, nonprofit.
Yeah.
Let's see what other budgets can do, and then
Yeah.
we can, because they might have already put money aside for things like that too. So that's what. So
Okay.
you keep your little knowledge to yourself.
I think, didn't the city council also designate some additional funds for the Lakewood Promise Advisory Board's project? And if we can strategize, I mean, I think it's money well spent if it's something that actually creates easier access to public transportation. It's money well
Yes,
spent.
absolutely. And to answer your question, they did. That 3% bump we got this year, because it was the second year of a current contract. We didn't divide it amongst the service providers. We decided, Community Services Advisory Board decided to keep it for items like this. And yes, when we presented to them, we did say that we would like to use it. There we go. Possibly for transportation needs. And with that, we have Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Good morning. How are you?
We're all doing well. Do we want to go around and do just a quick bout of introductions real quick for Nicole, or yeah? All right, let's start up top, or first let's have Nicole introduce herself and then we'll go around the room.
Sure. So good morning, everyone. I'm Nicole Warner. I am a community development coordinator with Pierce Transit. So our department focuses on outreach and activities. We go around and talk to different organizations about transportation benefits. Basically just educating folks that we are more than just a bus. Although our fixed route bus service is the heart of our organization, getting the opportunity to get people more comfortable and familiar with our transportation options is our #1 priority. So happy to answer any questions that you guys have as we get started here, but thank you and good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Let's start up top. Joyce?
Good morning, Nicole. I'm Joyce Loveday, president of Clover Park Technical College.
Morning.
Good morning, Nicole. I'm Carrie Pedrick. I'm with Communities and Schools of Lakewood.
Morning, my name's Mary and I go to medicine prep and I'm in 11th grade.
Okay.
Good morning, my name is Lincoln, I'm a junior at Harrison Prep.
Good morning. My name is Amaryllis, and I'm also a junior at Harrison Prep.
Roxanne, I'm the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Director for the City of Lakewood.
I'm Megan. I am the St. Clair Hospital rep.
I'm Ava. I'm a junior at Lakes High School.
I'm Jocelyn, a senior at Harrison. I'm Daniela, I'm a junior at Blue Park.
Hi, I'm Julie White, Chancellor Pierce College.
Hi, I'm Alice. I lead the Center for Ethical Leadership.
Hi, I'm Elijah. I'm a senior from Public Art.
Good morning, my name is Natalie and I'm a junior from Clover Park.
And I'm Shannon Bennett, the Human Services Coordinator for the city. Nicole, can you hear us? Because I think we can probably turn the volume up a bit more on that, just so.
Yeah, I could hear most of you. There's a couple soft-spoken folks in there, but I could hear you pretty well, so you're good.
Alex, speak up.
I know. I got my degree in exercise science, so I use my gym voice. Yeah, so sorry, folks. So yes, welcome so much for being here, Nicole. I think we have some questions that we wanted to learn more about, the services that you have, what you're already providing, and then what are some opportunities of partnership and working together to get our young people from point A to point B. So I wonder, is it advantageous to hear a quick rundown of some of the things that you already provide in different communities throughout Pierce County first, and then we can chime in with questions?
I like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I can do that. So like I mentioned, we have our fixed route service. Everybody knows Pierce Transit is the bus. But we do have other services that fill in where our fixed route is not available. One of those things is called our runner. That is our micro transit. So if there is not a fixed route within a mile, there is what we call runner zones. And so a lot of the kind of outskirts of the county outside city limits, there is not transportation there right now. So runner can fill those gaps. Now, the runner is not able to cross zones. It stays within its zone, but the idea is that it'll get you to the next closest fixed route, for example. So that's a really good opportunity. A lot of folks out in Gig Harbor use it. There's just the one fixed route in Gig Harbor. So runner fills in those gaps. Same thing down by on Ruston and the Tide Flats, things like that. We have some other areas that fill in out in the Spanaway area and up in the Fife Milton area. So that's another one of our services. And then we also have our specialized transportation. So those are for our seniors disabled customers that need to have specialized transportation. That for one reason or another, whether it's a physical or mental capability that prevents them from being able to ride a fixed route, we do have shuttle services available. And then more popular within our employer organizations is our rideshare. Now, a lot of people are familiar with those called van pool. So that's a really good sustainable solution to help get cars off the road and more people riding in together. The great thing about that is a lot of employers will present that as a wellness benefit because it is a great opportunity for people to save wear and tear on their vehicle. We give them the rideshare car. We give them a fuel card. We do all the preventative maintenance on that vehicle. And then you have 5 less cars on the road when they're all getting to transport to and from work together. Another thing, like I said, we do big is outreach, coming out into the community, doing presentations. The end of last year, I got the opportunity to partner with the Boys and Girls Club and got to get kids excited about transportation. I was able to partner with our customer service department and kiddos there that were 13 and older. We got to sign them up for their free youth Orca cards. So if you are 18 and under, you can ride transit for free. And we recommend that if you are 13 or older, you get that youth Orca card because it gets you in the habit of responsible, independent transportation. And then that Orca card can be used on all of our Orca transit partners. So that involves Kitsap Transit, King County Metro, the Sounder, the Light Link Rail, as well as Pierce Transit Services. And so, it's of course, the younger kids can still ride the bus for free, but, the likelihood that they're going to be riding around at that age alone is not as high as somebody who's 13 and older. So the Boys and Girls Club invited us to come and do presentations, did youth card signups. They loved doing our little coloring book activities. They got to do little bus cutouts. And so it's really just kind of trying to change the narrative that we have here in the Pacific Northwest, really, about transportation. So whereas in somewhere like California or on the East Coast, transportation is a way of life. You have people from, CEOs, presidents of companies, all the way down to the mailroom or janitorial staff that are all taking public transportation. And that transportation for a lot of places is free. So we hear a lot of people saying, there's hesitation, they're nervous about taking the bus. So we just really want to get people comfortable with it, especially the kiddos, letting them know we have, cameras on the bus. We have security that can be there in a heartbeat. And it's a really safe, reliable way to get to and from where you need to go. So trying to just get people more comfortable with that and being able to do that. Let's see, we recently developed a partnership with a organization called Second Cycle. So that caters to our bicycle riders. So they actually will host kind of like riding classes when it gets a little bit better weather, where kids can come and adults too can learn how to utilize bikes on transit. So, we can fit the bikes on the front of the bus. And so a lot of folks that love to be out riding bikes will ride it to one of our bus stops. And so it's just a short little class to kind of teach them and get comfortable with getting their bike to a bus stop and getting it on the bus. So that was a great partnership that we just had with them at the last year. So I feel like I could go on and on, so I'm going to stop and just see if any of that piqued any interest and that I can dive in further.
Okay. I think before we move into the questions, I would like to take a poll from the youth council students. Is bringing Pierce Transit into one of our regular meetings like they did at Boys and Girls Club and talking, but would this be of interest?
Yeah.
All right. Nicole, I will work with you offline so we can set up a meeting with our students here. I have like 43 heavily involved students, so you're going to have a good audience.
Yay, I like it.
Okay. Perfect. Does anybody have any specific questions about?
I'm curious. So Nicole, I'm just curious, are your drivers allowed to deny people access?
So when folks come on and they're not able to pay the fare, technically, yes, they can say you don't have sufficient funds or you're not able to pay for it. However, we've seen unfortunate news in recent history with other transportation partners with engaging in conversations with folks like that may have led to a fatal end. Or other form of harm. So generally they're not denying as much as they are allowing folks to ride with the youth. you know, some of the kids, they get to that kind of gray area where they're like, are you over 18 or are you still young enough? And, you know, they're not going to be like, pull out your ID card. I need to validate that you are in fact under, you know, 18 or younger kind of a thing. So we have lots of opportunities throughout the year where Pierce Transit gives back by offering free fares and things like that. So most importantly, for us is the safety of our staff and our riders. So really, you know, they're trained on how to kind of use their best judgment in those situations and just keep everyone safe. And if that means needing to let one person on, it's not worth the $2 fare.
But what about if that person seemed like they're intoxicated or they have some, they just look mean or, you know, they're, they're going to, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah, so our buses are monitored by cameras, both inside and outside of the bus. We utilize that for safety and training purposes. And so they do have like a hot dial button to our public safety officers that we partner with Pierce County Sheriff on. And so if they do find a situation like that where someone's being combative or they appear dangerous and things like that, they can alert them and get somebody there immediately to help diffuse that situation. The other thing I would mention is if we have somebody that appears to be having some sort of mental distress, we have a heart program that launched last year. It is our hardship assistance rapid response team. I think I might have that wrong. But anyways, it stands for HEART. And the idea is that when people are having a mental health crisis, sometimes law enforcement isn't always the best to react to those. So we have trained professionals that can come and help diffuse the situation with our HEART team. So lots of resources at their disposal there.
So Nicole, how many incidents do you guys have, you know, monthly where somebody needs to be called in? I'm curious.
You know, I don't know those numbers. I haven't actually really heard. Usually when I'm sitting in on a meeting, it's more about preventable accidents, where more so than like salty interactions. But I could certainly look into that and see if our risk department has information and share that.
Okay, I think we would like that, Nicole. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just send that to me and I'll share it with the group.
Yeah, for sure. Making
And
a
you-
note of it right now.
And Nicole, you've already shared a little bit about your strategies engaging with young people and engaging with Second Cycle to do some training so people feel more comfortable accessing the bus.
Yep.
Because sometimes it's like the unknown is what's scary,
Yes.
right? Like we just don't know what it's like. So I'm curious, what other things have worked as you've engaged young people, especially to be able to utilize the free fares, which is an incredible thing in our community.
Yes. So, well, one thing, sorry, before I get into that, I want to mention we just hired a new travel trainer. That's another tool we have at Pierce Transit. So they will actually come out with you and kind of assess where you need to go most frequently. And they will get on the bus with you, show you around and things like that to make sure you're comfortable getting from point A to point B. So that's another tool. And actually one of the travel trainers we just hired, I met him at the Boys and Girls Club at the Star Center. And when I was doing my presentation, he thought, wow, how can I get more involved with doing stuff like you're doing? And I said, well, we have a couple of openings, and he just started last week. So it was great. But I think for youth, I just try to think back to when I was that age, and I really just wanted to be independent. You know, I wanted to have that freedom. I had both my parents were working full time until I was able to save up and get a car and, you know, get my license. how else was I going to get to the mall? How else was I going to meet my friends at the movies? And so I personally was also in a situation where I attended school on the opposite side of town from where I lived. And so I didn't attend the school that was in my school boundary. So that was really important for me. And so I just try to use like my own personal experiences to kind of talk about that freedom. Um, and being able to get out and interact with people and have just that social thing. With the little kids, we have them all pretend like they're sitting on a bus, and we say, what do you do when you see your stop? And they're like, ooh, pull the lever. We give them just little fun interactivities like that. That sometimes the older kids probably think are kind of corny. So they're really like, can I just have my free youth orca card and be on my way? And we say, sure. But yeah, just really trying to lean into that, and then getting them excited to go home and talk to their parents. Because we also realize that for a lot of kids, there's just one parent or guardian in the house too. And it's hard. And even if there's two, it's still hard for them to get their kids from point A to point B when they're having to work full time or sometimes multiple jobs. So how can we make sure kids can get to a safe place and engage in a safe social activity where they're not putting themselves out there and being exposed to things that aren't so great going on around our community at times. So giving parents to the just kind of that sense of relief that they could get on our bus and get to where they need to go, whether that's some sort of kids club or things like that, is really kind of what we talk about.
That's really great information, Nicole, and a great segue to one of the reasons why we wanted to bring you on. We have like some events here in Lakewood, and we wanted to be able to have our public transportation ideas so young people can get to point A to point B. And so there's some questions that they've come up with and would love to ask Elijah, which after you finish clearing your throat.
Oh, hello. My name is Elijah, and so I'm the chair of the Lakewood Youth Council, and in 4 months we have an upcoming event called the Youth Summit, and so like there's a lot of, from what I've seen in my council, there's like a lot of stigma between the youth of public transit, and also kind of like they also haven't really like experienced what it's like to take public transit. I'm wondering like what have you done, or not, sorry, what have you done, but what were the most effective ways to reduce the stigma around public transit within the youth, and how we can do that in 4 months? And also, what kind of systems or models are there set up to help like just kind of like get the word out for safety in public transit?
Yeah, so I think really it's just, kind of giving them real life kind of examples. So utilizing that tool that we have with our travel trainers to really be able to go out there and help people with that comfortability. With younger students, especially, everybody's on their phones. So everybody's familiar with an app. So we have, a transit app. It's actually really cool. It's not specific to Pierce Transit. It's actually can be used internationally. And that app basically uses your location and says, this is where you are, where do you need to go, and here's your modes of transportation. And it will even say, give you like a link to tap on like Uber or Lyft if there wasn't transportation nearby. So that's a really good resource that, I know my teenagers and adult children are always in their phones. So having that available, and it's real time, up to date. Once a month, our team goes on a monthly bus ride ourselves. And so we kind of do a little quality check to make sure that, the bus is clean and we were greeted by our bus officer or bus driver. And we make sure that the app is synced up. And when it says my bus is coming to pick me up in 1 minute, it really is there in 1 minute. And it's a great tool to have. One of the things that I've been exploring is trying to partner more with other departments within the agency, like our safety, like our actual transit operator instructors and things like that to, you know, say you are the ones that are on the front line driving this bus. You're interacting with the public every day. Like, what can you come and tell us that, like, we don't see every day? And so I've been trying to get more of like a day in the life of a transit operator, right? And things like that to help kind of alleviate some of that stigma and safety issue. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and I think the other part of it is if you've never faced a transportation barrier yourself, it's hard to understand that having your own vehicle and that freedom and independence to transport yourself is really a privilege. And a lot of times, you know, people, you know, they want that convenience. They want that to just be able to get up and go where they want. And so I think it's important I try to encourage a lot of my other organizations to schedule like monthly bus trips together, and say, you know, hey, why don't you guys, you're downtown Tacoma, there's lots of great restaurants down there. Schedule a monthly bus ride to go take lunch, go to the park, just so they can also see what other people who have no other option other than public transportation are experiencing. And I give them that challenge anytime I meet with them throughout the year. So, and then of course, if there's anything else that people specifically have concerns about, you know, happy to dive into that further and make sure that we can get people comfortable. I know I have heard a lot specifically with like the Ukrainian community. They're very nervous to take public transportation, but talking to individuals in that community, it's not so much about public transportation, it's more so getting to the bus stop. So it's more about our community, you know, and the sense of, am I comfortable within my community? Not so much the transit ride itself.
I have so two things, Nicole. I'm wondering, one, and if there's an interest on the youth council side, if we could put together maybe that bus ride for our youth council, and maybe we have youth council at like different locations throughout, but we all how many people can fit on a bus?
Well, they're 40-foot buses. That's a great question.
I'm just wondering if it's something that the youth council would be interested in, if we scheduled like one of those kind of field trips where we all divide the group up, stay, you know, and wait at different bus stops, and then we start somewhere and then take a route, and eventually we're all on the bus together and you bring us back to City Hall or somewhere like that. So that's something I'd like to talk to you all about, if that's possible. Also, we do have our youth summit coming up on April 18th.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if with our choose your own adventure, if this would be maybe a table or something that we would offer to students where they could, you know, have like teach us about a comfortable ride.
Like learning to put your bike on the bus.
Or
That is
learning
huge,
to push your
I
bike.
think.
Yeah, I want to,
Yeah.
because I just got an electric bike that's really heavy, but I want to ride it. I want to try this system out from downtown Puyallup here. So yeah, those are the two things, and we can talk offline about it, but I just want to get the buy-in from the youth council that those are two ideas that okay, you and I'll talk offline on this then.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Any other questions?
Any other questions
on the list?
Let's see. So we talked about, what about, do you guys ever partner with like Clover Park School District? With, for instance, and we'll talk about the youth summit. We're kind of trying to find methods for youth who don't have transportation to get there, and remove that as a barrier. we have in fact had the school buses a couple of times try and do a route. Unfortunately, the marketing wasn't there and we had one kiddo take the bus to our event. But I'm just wondering, do you guys ever or we are wondering if you guys ever partner with the school district, maybe to help with cost or marketing or anything like that?
Yeah, so we do have special event buses. The biggest one that is most known is like when we do our specialized event buses for like the Puyallup Fair. Those were funded by the Washington State Fair Committee, and this last year and the year before, they didn't have the funding for it. But we do kind of work in partnership with them to try to accommodate like our route adjustments around the fair. Another example is like in Gig Harbor, they have like a farmer's market and they want to do like a special shuttle, to get people to and from. Those kind of things do have to go out to the public for a proposal. And so other transportation agencies have to have the opportunity to provide transportation for that special event. And if nobody responds to it, then we can look at providing that. The cost of it is more expensive than if you were to go to another transportation carrier. I do know that. However, I don't want to say no because there's other people that I would need to talk to and ask to. And if you don't ask them, the answer is always no. But if we do ask them and throw the spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks, it might be an opportunity. I know. Gosh, there was something that just happened recently with, I want to say, Mount Tahoma High School. Their basketball team went to some sort of districts or championship or something, and they were all riding a bus up somewhere. Again, those were all youth, so they were going to get on the bus free of charge anyhow.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a reserved bus kind of a thing. But we can look into it and see if this might be available. And like I say, if we don't ask, the answer is no. But if we ask, we might get a yes.
Okay. All right.
Put that on the list.
I will. All right. Perfect.
Yay.
And I think that was it because we talked about safety concerns. I think unless the individual brought those up has any more information or questions. Okay. They already have something in place for youth. And then, yeah, we got all our questions answered.
All right.
Good follow.
Well, that's great. And Shannon, you have my email. So if the group or anyone here thinks of something later and said, oh, I wish I would have asked that, go ahead. Feel free to share my email, or if you want to compile them and send them to me yourself, that's great. And so I think this is really cool that you guys have a council together and that, you want to focus on transportation. So we need those youth voices to really kind of be the ones that are getting out there and advocating and making these really good changes. So I'm excited to see that you guys are doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, Carrie Pedrick, whenever I hear transportation, her face pops up in my mind. And I'm like, transportation.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Carrie.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much,
Yes, of
Nicole, for
course.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
And yes, you and I will be in touch. I will send you all of my requests after this, and we'll talk about bringing you in to talk to the youth.
Absolutely. All
Awesome.
right. You guys have a great day.
You too, Nicole.
Thank
you.
All right, and then it is 8:32. Any other comments or thoughts?
Could I just add one thing?
Oh.
I thought this was great, but not but, and
Okay.
what I hear from our students and have experienced, because I lived in the East Coast for a long time, so I prefer public transportation. So people think I'm weird here, but is that the length of time to get any place.
Oh.
The routes are a big challenge. And so whether it's part of our work as a board and or as the youth council, if you're doing some rides, like it'd be great to get some feedback on how long does it take for you to get from the school to wherever you're trying to go, or home. So that I think that digging into that more would be great. I think they're doing amazing stuff to, change the culture around that. But at the end of the day, if you can't get there in the time that you need to get there, you're not going to use it.
Yeah.
So that's just additional information. I just didn't want to, I didn't want to go negative with her on that.
Oh, no, but you have to.
Well, I also know they have huge funding constraints, right?
Yeah.
And so if we can get some data, then we could go back and maybe have more conversation.
Yeah, city, I lived in Bellevue, in King County for a while and we had rapid buses because that was a concern. It was like, golly, it's great to use public transportation, but you've got these buses that stop, and so they have those buses with the regular routes. And then we had a few rapid ones that just zip to,
And they have some of those. They've added some of that to Puyallup because service out there is really hard for our students out there. So I saw your hand out there.
Yeah.
I think it's just personal, but like I saw that they heavily depend on electronics, or internet use base. Like what if a student doesn't have that, like electronic wise, or like their Wi-Fi goes out or their phone dies?
Yeah.
It kind of like maybe sets them to a panic, or like they may be afraid to I don't know what to do next.
Huh. That's a
Okay.
very good point.
Kind of, I guess like piggybacking off of kind of what both of you just said, just I understand obviously like routes you can't really predict like what time you're going to be there. When they say they're going to be there at a certain time, it's kind of a rough estimate. But I feel like just like within, I guess like the kind of almost like recent political climate in some ways, there may be some like fear from minorities to stay at bus stops for an extended period of time.
Yeah, very, yeah. Good point.
Yep. Okay. Well, we're over, but we have board updates. If you guys want to, we can do the board updates, or if you guys have board updates you want to share, you can send them to me in writing or.
Yeah, APCC is having their Lunar New Year at Tacoma Dome again. I believe it's the February 28th or that Saturday. The last Saturday of the month, I believe what it is. So see you there.
That's the last Saturday of this month?
No, February.
Oh, February. Oh, that's okay. Cool.
Well, thank you. So adjourned next month and we'll find out about, a potential in meeting advance. I like to call it.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day. Who's
Great.
going straight to class and who doesn't have, I know you.
I've worked.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all for that. All right. Nice to meet you all.
Y'all are awesome. You can.